You've seen the videos, the 5 a.m. wake-up calls, the cold showers, the green smoothies and ice baths and meditation apps. Everyone's obsessed with the perfect morning routine. But here's what nobody's telling you. The most successful people I've studied don't follow a routine at all, at least not in the way you think. Because what they do in the morning isn't about discipline or hustle or checking off boxes before sunrise. It's about something else entirely. Something quieter. Something that doesn't photograph well for Instagram. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why some people seem to attract opportunity effortlessly, while others grind themselves into exhaustion and never get there. It has nothing to do with waking up early, and everything to do with waking up differently. Stay with me. Before we get started, check out the link in the description to download our ebook. Let's talk about what's broken first. Somewhere along the way, morning routines became a performance, highlight reel. We started believing that if we just copied the right sequence of habits, success would follow. Journal for 10 minutes, meditate, exercise, read, plan your day. And look, none of that is bad, but here's the problem. When you're copying someone else's routine, you're operating from their rhythm, not yours. You're mimicking their energy, their priorities, their version of clarity. And that creates a subtle but devastating disconnect, because the morning isn't just about what you do, it's about the state you're in when you do it. Most people wake up already behind, already anxious, already scrolling. They jump straight into the demands of the world before they've even checked in with themselves. And then they wonder why opportunity never seems to find them, why the right ideas don't come, why everything feels like pushing water uphill. Truth is, successful people aren't just more disciplined in the morning, they're more aware. That awareness changes everything. So here's the secret they don't talk about. The most powerful thing you can do in the morning isn't a habit, it's a state of being. It's creating internal alignment before the world pulls you in 1,000 directions. Think about it like this. Imagine you're a radio. All day long, you're surrounded by signals, frequencies, opportunities, ideas, connections. But if you're not tuned in, you miss them. You're static, you're noise. You're reacting instead of receiving. Successful people use their mornings to tune the dial, to get clear, to get quiet, to align their mental, emotional, and strategic energy so that when opportunity shows up, they actually notice it. Let me give you an example. A CEO I know doesn't start his day with emails or meetings. He sits in silence for 20 minutes, not meditating in the traditional sense, just sitting, listening to his own thoughts. And he told me something that stuck with me. He said, most people are so loud inside their own heads that they can't hear when something important is trying to reach them. That's the difference. Successful people create space, not because they have more time, but because they understand that clarity is the currency of opportunity. All right, so how do you actually do this? Let me break it down into 3 layers. Think of these as the architecture of an aligned morning. Layer 1, the mental reset. This is about clearing the clutter. Your mind wakes up with yesterday's worries, tomorrow's anxiety, and 100 unfinished loops running in the background. You need to interrupt that. This doesn't have to be complicated. Some people journal, others sit in silence. Some go for a walk without their phone. The method doesn't matter. What matters is that you're not consuming information yet. You're not solving problems yet, just letting your mind settle. Because here's what happens. When you give your mind space, it starts to organize itself. Priorities become obvious. The noise fades. And you begin to see what actually matters today, not what's urgent. What matters. Layer 2, the emotional tune-in. This is the piece most people skip, and it's the most important. You can have all the mental clarity in the world, but if you're emotionally disconnected, opportunity will pass right by you. Because opportunity doesn't just come from strategy, it comes from resonance. From being in a state where you can recognize possibility when it shows up. So ask yourself something simple. What am I grateful for right now? Not as a checkbox, as a real question. Let yourself feel it, even for 30 seconds. Gratitude isn't toxic positivity. It's recalibration. It shifts you from scarcity to abundance, from fear to curiosity, from closed to open. And when you're open, you notice things. The conversation that leads somewhere. The idea that clicks. The opportunity that was always there, but you were too tense to see. Layer 3, the strategic activation. Now here's where it gets practical. Once you're clear and grounded, you take one aligned action, not 10, not a whole to-do list. One thing. But here's the key. It has to be high leverage. It has to be something that moves the needle. Something that, if you did nothing else today, you'd still feel like you made progress. For some people, that's writing for 30 minutes. For others, it's making one important call. Or working on the project that actually matters, not the tasks that just feel productive. The point is, you're not reacting, you're not managing, you're creating. You're leading your day instead of being led by it. And when you do this, something shifts. The rest of the day doesn't feel frantic, it feels aligned. Because you've already done the thing that matters. Everything else is just support. So why doesn't everyone do this? If it's so simple, why do most people still wake up scattered and stressed? Because we've been conditioned to believe that more is better. That speed is success. That if we're not busy, we're falling behind. And so we reach for our phones before we've even opened our eyes. We check the news, the messages, the demands. We start reacting before we've even remembered who we are. And that sets the tone for the entire day.
Successful people protect their mornings like a fortress, not because they're selfish, but because they know that everything else depends on that foundation. If you start the day disconnected from yourself, you'll spend the rest of it chasing things that don't matter. Distraction isn't just about losing time, it's about losing awareness. And awareness is how you recognize opportunity.
It's how you make decisions that align with where you're actually trying to go. It's how you build a life that feels intentional instead of accidental. Most people are so busy trying to keep up that they never stop to ask, what am I actually moving toward? The morning is when you answer that question. All right, let's make this real. Here's what I want you to try tomorrow. Set your alarm 15 minutes earlier than usual. I know, but hear me out. When you wake up, don't reach for your phone. Leave it across the room if you have to. Sit somewhere quiet. Doesn't have to be a meditation cushion. Your couch is fine, your kitchen table. Anywhere you can just be for a minute. Take 5 slow breaths and ask yourself, what do I actually need today? What would make today feel aligned? Let the answer come. Don't force it. Just listen. Then write it down if that helps. Or just hold it in your mind. And before you do anything else, before you check email or scroll or jump into tasks, do one thing that moves you toward that answer. That's it. That's the experiment. You're not trying to overhaul your entire life. You're just trying to start one day differently. It's from a place of clarity instead of chaos, from alignment instead of reaction. And then notice what happens. Notice how the day feels. Notice what you see that you might have missed otherwise. Here's what I want you to remember. Opportunity isn't random. It doesn't just happen to lucky people. It shows up for those who are awake enough to notice it, present enough to receive it, aligned enough to act on it. And that alignment starts in the morning. It's not with a perfect routine, not with someone else's blueprint, but with a simple decision to meet yourself first before you meet the world. So tomorrow morning, give yourself that gift. Clear the static, tune the dial, and watch how differently the day unfolds. Because success isn't about doing more. It's about being more aligned with what actually matters. And that's the secret they don't talk about. Thanks for watching. Now, go create a morning that changes everything.